Listen to this question in the advice subreddit. How to deal with a boyfriend who doesn't have many life skills. You don't. At this particular juncture, we got to just stop dealing with these people because many times they know how to do things. They just choose to not do things because women will just up and pick up the slack because we don't want to see all of these messes or disgusting things around. So at this particular juncture, you don't. You leave these people alone. And that's just where I am. No more coddling of these people. And at this particular juncture as well, tell your daughters, the teenagers, the 20-somethings going off into the real world to stop moving in with these people. Okay, she says, I'm struggling here. My boyfriend is a wonderful, sweet guy, but he has little ability to use general knowledge to piece together how to do or fix things. I doubt that. He's just playing dumb and playing hurt. She says, FYI, I know these are all minor issues and I probably sound like a judgmental B word, but it's been compounding for a few years now and I'm getting to my breaking point. I'm constantly teaching him how to do things correctly, like washing dishes, changing a car tire, cutting vegetables, cooking food, cleaning up after himself, cleaning drains, hanging out washing properly, replacing hand towels, dusting, washing stained clothes, washing windows, fixing broken items like chairs, shoes, curtains, looking after his hair, looking after his teeth, looking after his car, cleaning the toilet, when to throw out clothes because they are no longer okay to wear. And it is driving me insane. She does not have a boyfriend. She has a toddler. What is this? What is this? He's 25. He should know how to do these tasks or at least be able to use prior knowledge to piece together how to do it, right? I feel awful always correcting him and it's putting me into this position of mother. I do not want to be a mother. Mothering him is making him feel like my kid, which is so very unsexy and is impacting our sex life. Oh man, my face is just screwed up. He's 25. He should know how to do these tasks or at least be able to use prior knowledge to piece together how to do it, right? I feel awful always correcting him, and it's putting me into this position of mother. I do not want to be a mother. Mothering him is making him feel like my kid, which is so very unsexy, and is impacting our sex life. He sometimes will learn from what I've shown him, but he also has a tendency to forget and to go back to his old habits without thinking. I earn more and work more than he does, so it's not a lack of time that's the issue. I've tried just ignoring it, but we live together and I feel like I can't leave him to complete tasks by himself because he doesn't know how to do them correctly. So everything becomes my job anyway, or I have to put time aside to teach him. What the F? That's what I'm saying, homie. What the F? How do you handle a situation where you end up being the mother of your significant other without growing to resent them for it? This dude needs to go back home. He was not properly parented. He was not set up to be ready for the real world, and he should not be in a relationship. I am trying to break them up because this is tiresome. This was tiresome to even read. She makes more money and has to come in and fix the things. This is like a mother-son dynamic. Like, make these people lonelier until they know how to be an actual partner. So many of them come to social media on a daily basis talking about they need to lead and women need to be submissive, and this dude can't even figure out when to throw out his clothes and his underwear has holes in it. Like, you need some kind of chart or something. You need some chart to tell you how to put away the dishes. I am so baffled. I'm befuddled. My guests are flabbered. She edits at the bottom saying, thank you everyone for your insight. One clarification I like to make is that he will do the tasks himself, not make me do them, but I do need to be the one telling or showing him how to do them, which is still nowhere near ideal. I need to have a big conversation with him tonight and grow myself a spine. Busy Gal tagged me in and says she's raising a grown man. Yeah, this is the reason why young women just got to stop moving in with these people, because this just sounds stressful and terrible. All right, let's jump into some of the comments. Gleaming the Cubicle says, Does he keep getting fired from jobs because he can't learn how to do the work? Because unless he's unable to learn anything because of medical condition, he just doesn't care enough to bother. And to that, the OP says, he's great at his job and well respected there. It's just at home that he's struggling to learn things. You might be right about him not caring enough to bother. And then Lotus Grows from Mud says, sounds like weaponized incompetence to me. He's doing it bad on purpose. And men tend to teach other men how to do stuff in a terrible way to make the women just say, F it, I'll do it myself. Organic Hack says, boom, anyone can learn stuff unless they don't want to, because it's easier for you to do it for them. Diligent Reed says, absolutely, he wants a mother. Jella Fella says, I've taught some pretty dumbass people some pretty complex stuff. It just takes a willingness to learn. The real me Monty says this, he doesn't want a girlfriend, he wants a mommy. Welp says this, when I need to learn something, I teach myself by watching YouTube videos. This is a choice. Isabella says, I've never heard this term before. Thank you for teaching me something new. And this is the reason why we continue to have these conversations, because yes, I do know we have talked about weaponized incompetence before, but everybody has not seen the same things. And so you have to keep repeating things over and over and over so that these messages spread far and wide. So Queerty is definitely a man because he keeps trying to flip things in the comment section. He says, Jesus effing Christ, if the genders were reversed, everyone would be suggesting that the lazy partner has mental health issues. Queerty does this a few times in the comment section. Matt Zoo says, I don't know, maybe he's just okay with a little rundown shirt having one more wrinkle in his shirt. Some of the things listed are not things everyone can do, like fixing cars or shoes. Maybe he is just okay paying somebody doing this stuff. I find it hard to answer questions like this without a few more points or context. And that is absolutely true. Not everybody knows how to fix shoes or fix a chair. I totally get that. But if you see that a shoe is broken, just throw it out. And I don't know where these people are from. Maybe they do things like fix shoes and fix chairs. I'm of the type of just, get a new chair and get a new pair of shoes. But that's me. If she's sitting up here trying to help him through this, she is still raising a grown man. Filled with Rage says, get rid of him, hun. He's not worth it. Paint Whore says, right, like you exist too. If my mom in her 60s can learn how to replace the hydraulic lift on the back of her car, this guy can sort out how to get a goddamn dish clean on his own. And here we have Queerty again saying, man, this is what a man is saying. Man, my wife is lazy and won't ever clean up after herself. He said, this is what Reddit says. She's clearly depressed. Stop being an a-hole. If a woman says, my husband is lazy and won't ever clean up after himself, he says, Reddit says, you ain't his mama, dump his butt. Regardless, though, it is not your job as a woman and someone that goes to work and someone who does not have children to raise a fully grown man. Send him back home to his parents, both of his parents. And this dude needs to get some life skills and learn how to properly adult. Y'all go ahead and join the conversation and keep having this conversation. Keep talking to your children. Raise your own children. Tell your daughters not to raise anybody else's sons. And the men, they need to be fully functional before they launch, because what the F is this? We've talked about financial abuse before, and it's important to talk about these things far and wide and up and down and explain. And you never know when somebody is going to come across these posts and when they are ready to receive this information. So we're going to continue to talk about this. She asked the question, am I being financially abused? She says, throw away, duh. So she's 30. He's 42. She's 30. He's 42. Y'all know how I already feel about age gap situations. She says, am I being financially and otherwise abused by my husband of almost 9 years? So she's been with him since she was 21. She says, I was browsing and saw a post for this one chick asking if she should be freaked out that her husband has all her passwords and stuff. She also mentioned not having a bank card of her own. Then this other lady was talking about her husband keeping track of her, and she ended up leaving him in updates. I've never thought about my relationship with S was abusive. I've never thought my relationship with S was abusive. Everyone says it's odd that we got together when I was 20 and he was 32, but we have a normal relationship. But the more I think about it and the context of those posts, maybe I'm wrong. And this is precisely why I say we have to continue to talk about these things far and wide, because you never know when somebody is going to come across these posts. Just because we have had these discussions doesn't mean that other millions of women have been exposed to these things. So a couple of posts has her thinking, maybe I'm in a situation where, this is not right. And that's the reason why I continue to do these posts day after day. She says, I'm either really paranoid or really, really screwed. S was my voice coach. I was going to be an opera singer. I stopped because it was clear I sucked, but we stayed together and eventually got married. He takes care of the bills and works and I guess does all the finances. I didn't go to college, so I'm unqualified. He says he doesn't want me to worry about working or anything, just keep house and focus on my health. We are trying to have a baby, and so far it hasn't happened. So about the bank card, I've never had one of my own. He gives me a prepaid card with a budget for groceries and a little something extra. I get my nails done, stuff like that. It is such a hassle trying to get your license renewed when you don't have pay stubs or any bills mailed to you. He usually takes care of it. So the reason I might be screwed is because I realize he does control most of my life. I've looked into my phone and he does actually have access to my phone, all my email, texts. I didn't realize he's the backup for when I lose the password. He's connected to my Google Photos. Sometimes he says stuff like, how was this place or that place? And I didn't tell him I was going there that day. I figure I just forgot, but now I'm wondering. He's not violent. He treats me well. He doesn't usually take no for an answer if it's something he wants. He doesn't usually take no for an answer if it's something he wants. I just figured he's spoiled or because he's the youngest in a massive family. If he is controlling and I'm just not seeing it, pretty much I have nowhere to go. How do I fix it? What should I do to make this better so I don't start feeling dissatisfied with my life? There are so many red flags in this situation. The age gap, the fact that he was one of her coaches, the fact that she has dropped out of college and she doesn't have any education, the fact that she doesn't have a bank card or access to money. She doesn't know anything about their bills. So if this man were to drop dead tomorrow, he is 12 years older than her. So if she were to have a family with this man and he just conks over, she would have no idea about anything in her life. He has all of the passwords. He can find her. He does not take no for an answer. He's watching her. This is a scary situation and a terrible situation. And this is one of the reasons why I continue to say things to us. I don't know how she's going to dig herself out of this hole. This is a major hole because she's 30 years old and she does not have any education and she doesn't work. She needs his help in order to get a driver's license. She is completely dependent on this man. This is the reason why I talk to us, though. We do not want to allow ourselves or our daughters to get into a situation where they are completely dependent. So we're going to do everything that this woman did not do. Not fall out of school, not get with someone that is significantly older, not give up financial independence. We got to make sure that our children are financially independent and financially intelligent. This is going to be a hard one for this particular woman. At least she has the nuggets in her brain now that maybe this is not right. And maybe she won't actually work to get pregnant, because if she gets trapped with a baby with him, she will have no recourse. She will have no way to get out. She will be stuck. So that is one positive that she has going. So she has the inclination that maybe this isn't right. She's not baby trapped yet. So maybe she'll start working to dig herself out of this hole. Let's look at these comments. This first one is interesting. This is a man. He says, well, I can't answer your question, but I'm your husband. Not really. But I do have full financial control on our family savings, and my wife, just like you, basically gets an allowance every month for the house and her things. To be fair, I also get an allowance, slightly lower than hers, since she covers most of the expenses. And so we have a central bank account to which only I have access, which includes all our savings and investments. And then every month, I wire money to her account and to my personal account for monthly expenses. She is a stay-at-home mom, cares about the house and the kids, never ever asks about a single bill, how to manage our shared savings, and basically have offloaded all the administrative part to me. I'm very concerned by the fact that she just never seemed to care, since I don't want her to think as you are doing right now. Things are the way they are because we, she included, were comfortable this way. It was never really intentional, and I would happily give her part of the control if only she cared about it. So I guess my take is maybe you are not abused. It's a strong word. Maybe your husband never did this on purpose. He is the breadwinner. He was naturally always in charge of all money related topics, and things just sailed. If this is changing and you're becoming more aware, just talk to him. Explain how you feel and what your concerns are. Work out a solution considering him your number one fan and ally instead of antagonizing him for no real reason. Just my 2 cents. So that's the 2 cents from a man. And then Enigmatic Boom says, yes, you are absolutely being financially abused and controlled. He doesn't want you to work, and now you've spent your entire adult life not working, and she doesn't have any education. That will make it very hard to get your ducks in a row to leave, because people with no work experience have a very hard time finding work, especially work they can support themselves off of. He has all your passwords. Do you have his? He goes through your photos and locations and brings them up in conversations without you even mentioning it. That means he is tracking you all day. He gives you a prepaid card, absolutely no access to money. You wouldn't be able to save up to leave even if you wanted to because he gives you the budget. He is in control of all of your adult tasks, license, mail, etc. If he ever decides to kick you out, you can't even claim residence without receiving mail. You can't get your license or ID renewed without him. If I can guess, where you live is in his name only. The car you drive, your phone, etc. are all in his name only. You guys had a power dynamic from the start. The age gap, him being your teacher, married within a year, he took advantage of a 20-year-old, but it's not too late to get out. As a former victim of financial abuse, he is 100% doing that to you. This is not a normal relationship. It's all you've ever known, so it seems normal. It is not. And she says, edit, do not get pregnant. This part right here summarizes everything that I was thinking as I read this. Like warning signals were going off. This is not a healthy dynamic at all. And it's going to be hard to dig herself out. But this is the reason why I continue to do this. This is a cautionary tale. Take these types of situations and these conversations and talk to your daughters. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share. One of my homies tagged me in a few different posts in the purple pill debate. And I'm calling her my homie, but I don't know how she feels about me, considering this is one of the first things I woke up to this morning, and it had me like face palming. This man says you should sleep with a woman before taking her out on a date. This is the reason why the male loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted. This man is saying this to other men, and you should sleep with a woman before taking her out on a date. And also, the other discourse that we'll see throughout the day, maybe 17 times today, is that body count matters and how many men a woman has slept with matters. And then you have this man saying you should sleep with a woman before taking her out on a date. Oh, these logical people. All right, let's get into some of this post. He wrote a whole essay on this. I'm tired of pretending this isn't obvious. Every woman on dating apps complains about getting 500 matches who every single one of whom only want sex. Can we just take one single look around here? How many of the men here in this sub have tried to use apps seriously for the sole purpose of finding relationships? Just say, I have, so we can finally stop validating this dumb rumor. I don't doubt it's a lot, but to say it's all is just so disingenuous. And to be honest, even if that complaint were legitimate, can you really blame men for behaving that way, given how women actually act on these platforms? Here's what's really happening. More women effectively pull the exact same these sex-hungry men do. I mean, maybe these same things, I don't know, sex-hungry men do, but simultaneously shame them. I'm talking specifically about the women you'll actually encounter on dating apps. These women get more attention in a week than most men here get their entire lives. Think about it. If an attractive woman had that many genuine options, why would she be on a dating app for more than a month? The fact that she's still there is your first red flag. Also, another common way to mask the validity of their struggles, women will just say, okay, I get that many likes, but they're all low quality. Yeah, okay. There are that many people after you, and every single one of them is the problem. But when men struggle to find a date, they need to fix themselves. I'm saying all this to say that they are lying to you. Many of you who have girlfriends know this if you looked at their pages once. She'll have 80 dudes on delivered asking her out on a date. Not for sex, but an actual date. And when you ask her why, it's always some stupid ick. She changed her mind or got bored. These are women who claim they want relationships while simultaneously playing games that will make your head spin. They'll breadcrumb you for weeks, agree to dates they have no intention of going on, text you once every 14 hours, and somehow men will still take them out and pay for everything because they're terrified that asking her to contribute will ruin their chances. Why do they do this? Because it feels good and they can. Their position gives them the power to exploit men who know that if they don't put up with this behavior, she'll just ghost them for someone who will. It's that simple. I'm not going to read all of this. You need to look at the screen if you want to. I'm skipping some of this. I'm skipping to down here. You want to know the truth? These women offer you absolutely nothing compared to what you're giving them. And there's no way to tell if she's genuinely interested or just using you for free meals and attention, because most types of women behave exactly the same way. We're all a monolith, y'all. Whether she's using you, is open to the idea of a relationship but hasn't made up her mind yet, or does want a relationship and has made up her mind, but she still wants to watch you bark like a dog and treat her like a princess. Here's more. Y'all can read this. Just keep on reading. I'm going to skip some of this. All right. All this nonsense about women growing into sexual attraction is BS. She's either attracted to you or she's not. If she wants you, she'll F you. And for those of you who want to say that I can be unsure whether I actually like a guy or not sometimes, tell that to him and watch his face drop. Why would you want to put up with trying to convince someone to be attracted to you and to men? You shouldn't. How many of you expect women to do the same thing for you? My guess is almost none of you. Once she slept with you, she finally contributed something real to the interaction, something a woman who's just using you would never do. He's talking about all of this in aspects of going out on a date for a meal. He's really acting like he's contributed a house, like they are really just out here doing all of these things for women. And he's just talking about going out on a date. Here's still more. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm going to read some more of this. As for the women who will inevitably interject with, I know my worth and won't sleep with a man first. Okay, fine. Then a man who knows his worth shouldn't waste his money and energy on someone who isn't even attracted to him. And then something else a woman would say, I need to make sure sex isn't all he wants. Men need to make sure money and attention isn't all you want. See how that works? The woman says, it's too dangerous. Then don't do it. But unlike men, you actually have choices here. Most men with options behave this way for good reasons. And this framing your exploitative nature in this way is so disingenuous and just offers you the plausible deniability later on when someone decides to ask you why you would do such a thing, because we all have to pussyfoot around female dating struggles or else we risk coming off as the bad guys. We should truly be asking ourselves why. All right, finally, we're at the end. Both men and women are the same, holding exactly what they know the other person wants over the other person's head as an attempt to either protect themselves or just use them and get what they want. Why must men abide by all the terms and conditions women have set with them, while men just have to accept whatever scraps they're given? I get that sex matters to some people. That's exactly why it's meaningful. Most women won't sleep with men they just don't take seriously. Women want dates first to avoid being exploited for sex. Men want sex first to avoid being exploited for resources. Why should only one group get what they need to feel secure? You need sex to feel secure. Stop making men grovel and beg while contributing nothing real in return. The current system is broken and everyone knows it. Women, this is precisely why you need to get your own money, have some financial independence, because they really believe that women are using them for a free meal. This whole diatribe, this whole essay was about sex in exchange for a meal. He wants a food Jezebel. He wants a food lady of the night. He really thinks that y'all are out here hungry and desperate, so desperate that you're exchanging your body for a meal. That is how lowly they think of women in our company. Y'all saw this long diatribe. He wrote this in relation to going on a date. Keep this in mind. On Thursdays, for the last 2 Thursdays, I've been putting out a post where I go into men's subreddits and just take down their post and screenshot and talk. I lurk to see what they're talking about. And this is how simplistic they think of us. Meals in relation to sex, and that is it. You are a food lady of the night. This is laughable because no real escorts are accepting a steak meal in exchange for her body. Talk to your daughters about what they talk about. And on Thursday, I will probably do a deeper dive and just keep on telling y'all what they are saying about us. For right now, join the conversation. I'm not even going to go into the comment section because this was already exhausting. Join the conversation though. Share this with your daughter. Share this with your little cousins. Share this with your aunties and your mama too, because they might not know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Honestly, hell yeah. Everybody stop hating men, okay? And just normalize hating bad people generally, right? Like rapists and mass shooters and people who distribute and consume child porn. Domestic abusers, people who commit violence generally, all the billionaires that are destroying our planet, the people who like upskirt in stores, kidnappers, right? It's like, wait a second. Crazy that men feel hated on when women just speak about the atrocities that men commit. It's like actually being hated on for your gender is all of the other things that I mentioned that men do to women. Like, you want to trade places? I don't respond to dumb stuff from men for free, and I only get paid for videos that is longer than 60 seconds. Let's see if my Lily will come say hi. Say hi, Lily. Hi. Alrighty, that should do it. Catch you later.